Okay, we are back, continuing our February 11th conversation. Thank you all for bearing with us. The irony of losing our audio on that in the middle of a conversation about petty tyrants, those little things that come up to push our buttons and see how we respond. So, how you doing after that little break?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I opened up to that place of flexibility and fluidity and recognizing the irony of that's so often what happens. Talking about something, it activates the web, and we were talking about petty tyrants. And so,
Mhm.
what has been, I'm putting it in past tense because it's not happening now. It's petty tyrant for me has been frustrations with things not working with technology, and so it manifested. And I was just totally open to not attached to anything, just being present with what's happening and making the blend with that and surrendering into it. So I'm actually feeling pretty happy.
All right, good job. The
And so
universe said, I'm going to give you a test, Tomas, and you got it.
yeah, I want to thank you because you're the one who knows how to do the technology mastery that brought us back. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, Nicole and I, and some of our other community members,
Yeah.
and mom supporting you through that sometimes, many times too. So, okay. Um, so let's see. We were talking about petty tyrants. Is there anything else you want to say about that? Do we want to jump into a reflection for the week ahead or a meditation, guided visualization, um, helping people drop into a visualization on facing petty tyrants? We are back. Yes, got some chats in there.
Well, before I do that, is there anything else you want to ask about petty tyrants?
Mm,
You just experienced that you were
yeah,
unexpected. But how did you
I
work with
think what's interesting is I had I don't even remember exactly what the trigger was a few weeks ago, but I gosh, I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, I know. A friend of mine who lost her mother when she was really young, um, and was we were talking about our kids getting older and going away to college and how much we miss them, and also how grateful we are to have kids and for them to be healthy and growing up and going out into the world, and that's such a gift. Um, and so it's like a both and, right? The gratitude for them growing up and being healthy and going out into the world, and the sadness of them growing up so fast. um, and she said, with the wisdom that she's gained from having lost a mother at an early age, she said, yeah, it's hard, but it's, that's just life. And and so on we go. And I thought, like, we say those things, oh, that's just life, or here we are, or it is what it is, all those phrases. But for some reason it struck me a little bit more powerfully, that moment of like, there's no, like, that other thing about there's no getting out of this there's no getting out of this alive. There's no getting out of this without wounds or scars. Last week we talked about things that crack us open. And um and so since that conversation a few weeks ago, I felt much more like just able to catch the scripts that start playing when challenges come up, and just be like, the all the wisdom of being in the moment, grateful for what is, not ignoring or minimizing the challenges, because they're real and the hard feelings are there, and not trying to force them away, but just knowing it's all the full part of who we are. So
yeah,
yeah. So that's why we do this work, right? So that we get these little moments of opening that remind us of all this. So
polish up our stardust and
yes,
find the
yes,
truth
yes, yes.
of who we are?
Yeah. So if you could lead us into a visualization about using petty tyrant moments to polish up our stardust and shine more in the coming week, please, that would be great.
All
And I
right.
always like to, like, start off visualizations. I remember one time on Vision Quest, um, talking about, like, someone, I think it might have been Michael, won't use last names on here, but talking about um, he had a dream about like going into this cave and there were jewels on the sides of it and then walking down a staircase with jewels on the sides. So when I do visualizations, I often try to envision that. Um, and when
Take us,
we were
take us
kids.
in, take us right in there to that cave.
All right. So we invite you all to close your eyes and visualize yourself walking into a cave that is just filled with brilliant, brilliant jewels on all sides, sparkling jewels. And you're walking down into a staircase, going deeper and deeper into that bejeweled space with every step and every breath. Every step and every breath going deeper and deeper until you hear the words of Tom coming through.
And in the word Tom, it's interesting how the first letter is T, and then the second letter is O, and then the third letter is M. And if you take away the T, you have Om, Sanskrit word. It's a manifestation of unity, of sacred unity, of interwoven infinite connectivity of all of creation, which is the essence of who and what we are. The essence of our being is that oneness, that infinite oneness, whose nature at the deepest level, essence of our being is love, infinite, unconditional, cosmic love, aloha. Opening to attunement, conscious connection, attunement, and communion with that infinite oneness of unconditional cosmic love. And just taking a few moments to be with the peace, the experience of inner peace, deep inner peace, of knowing that, feeling that in whatever way we sense, feel, envision, see that infinite oneness of cosmic love that is flowing through us now and strengthened with each new breath in and each cleansing breath out, releasing energy, like stories our ego cooks up from unconsciously conditioned subconscious mind, stories that are based on the illusionary perception of separation, dissolving it, letting it go, releasing it, and restoring conscious awareness with that cosmic love that we are. And when we bring into our mind's eye reflection the idea of a petty tyrant, those people or situations that manifest as a stimuli, as an energy stimuli that enters into our awareness that kind of knocks us out of that place of deep inner peace, of oneness, of cosmic love. And all of a sudden we're experiencing reactivity, constriction, tightness, inflammation. We're experiencing the energy of our own reactivity to that stimulus of the petty tyrant. And so if we hold an intention, a growth intention to grow the qualities and consciousness of being that we value, whatever those might be to you, the reactivity gets in the way of our actualizing those qualities of consciousness and being that we want to have grow stronger in our lives. So the value of the petty tyrant when we hold a intention to grow and to use this day that we're given to do the best we can to realize the highest potentials for our being. Conscious awareness of the deep inner peace that lives at the center of our being, of the conscious love that's the essence of our being, and the kindness and courage and beauty and creativity that's in us and available to us, realizing, moving toward realization of those highest qualities. The value of the petty tyrant triggering our reactive stimuli is that it brings consciousness to us through our observing witness to see the pattern of response to that stimuli. Because it's not the stimuli of whatever it is that creates our experience. It's the story we unconsciously tell ourselves about that stimuli that creates our suffering. Poor me, this shouldn't be happening. It's not fair. I don't deserve this. I'm not okay with it. I want it to be different. Constriction, attachment, all coming from ego's identity with physical body and its whims and its desires in the moment that aren't being fulfilled. So if we hold on to those desires of attachment, wanting it to be different creates more suffering. We have power when we see the role we're playing in creating our suffering in the moment. And to ask ourselves, is that what I want to put my energy into, believing is true, and feeding and fueling those stories based on illusionary perception of ego's separationness? If so, keep doing it. Works very effectively to create more suffering. But if we feel in this moment of being alive we've had enough suffering in life, then we are empowered, excuse me, to pull a plug on the role we were playing in creating the suffering. Just with compassion for ourselves, no judgment about ourselves. I think one of the strengths of a warrior spirit to be able to use everything, don't be victim to everything, to be able to use everything that's triggered by the petty tyrant to help us grow is compassion for our human reactivity. So when we catch and see our human reactivity creating suffering, don't judge ourselves about it. Don't find fault about ourselves with it, beating ourselves. Just notice it with compassion, with tenderness for our humanness. Opening our hearts to compassion and sending love to ourselves and sending love and peace and acceptance and to the little one inside of us, the little girl, little boy, infant, child, teenager, whenever we experience the wounds of our lives, all of us wounded in one way or another, sending healing light and love to that one. And sending healing light and love to the process of being unconsciously conditioned to carry around painful thoughts and negative images and identity of, with our totality as ego in our body. That's a wound. Just noticing, all the suffering that comes from putting energy into believing that. And give thanks for being able to see the role I play in creating my suffering with the story I tell myself in response to a stimulus and accept with compassion my humanness. Breathe in healing, light, and love. Breathe out and let go of tension, tightness, constriction, negativity. An opening. This is polishing our stardust work to help us wake up and wise up. And remember, I'm a sacred, worthy, luminous being. I'm loved. I am love. My love is forgiving and receiving. And the opportunities of being alive today are to be able to create a response, consciously create a response to whatever the petty tyrants might trigger in me and use it to help me grow those qualities. Pull the plug on the old patterns, create a new way of living, a new pattern based on love. Weave wisely a new vision of living based on love instead of fear. A new vision of living based on love, which is flowing into us in this breath and every breath we're gifted to receive. So as you go forward with your experiences into this week before we meet again, Shamanic Sundays next Sunday, may we all be empowered by the work we're doing here today to polish up our stardust, strengthen our observing witness, to catch the machinations of the coyote, the trickster, and providing those petty tyrants and say, oh yeah, thanks, far out. Thanks for giving me opportunity to wake up, wise up, and live love now. Healing within me, flowing through me, and out into each other, our loved ones, our families, community, ancestors, and the healing of the sacred hoop for all people. May it be so. Oh, Pomprios, blessings of this day to you, sacred right now. Hey, Pomprios.
Oh. Excuse me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see, I got my audio back. Just having all kinds of interesting technology things today. I think it's so funny.
Can you hear
But
me?
I can hear you. I can see you. I can hear you. I
Okay.
see folks in the chat. Thank you so much for being here, for coming back to join us again. And a reminder that you can find recordings on Tom's YouTube channel. You can also send in questions ahead of time. So thank you for showing up, for sharing, and we'll look forward to hearing how your week ahead goes next week on Shamanic Sundays. We'll be back. Hope you will too.
Oh.
Mwah. All right. Love to everyone. Take care.